Hey, so this is another TvT in the Master League between Free Winds and Moose Hooves, and I just wanted to look at Moose Hooves' build. He misplaced the racks, which is kind of funny. So when he tried to trap me in, he couldn't because the racks was misplaced. He's like, whatever, it's not a big deal. So he scouts a reactor and one gas and a bunker at the front, and he's like, interesting. That's probably what he's thinking about, is the interestingness. So he's gonna Reaper expand into 3 racks and wait for 3 Reapers before doing anything, but I spotted the Reapers with that. I think that was, what was that? That was like a Hellion? No, it was a Marine. I sent 1 Marine over just to scout whether or not he'd taken his Expo, and he killed it with 3 Reapers. So I'm watching what he's doing because what I'm doing was kind of a joke. This was the first game I played today, and I didn't take it very seriously, and I got completely dominated. And he was very rude because he's not a nice person, but I don't really mind. It's a video game, whatever. So yeah, he's just gonna infantry and get stim as combat shields, and then stim as quick as he can, and wait for this push that he's scouted is coming. He doesn't really use the Reapers to try to do anything. He's just using them, like, he let me know they're there, and now he's just using them to say, you know, if you come attack me, I have Reapers. You better watch yourself. So I made a Viking and a Banshee, and I'm going to clean up the Reapers while he continues to produce off of 3 racks, getting upgrades. Nothing but 3 racks, 2 turrets, and an infantry upgrade. This build does not spend all of his money. He's getting an awful lot of gas that he has no intention of spending until siege tanks. So here we go. My push is really late. It's 10 minutes. The 1-1-1 tank push is supposed to come at like 7.5 minutes so that you can catch a fast Expo off guard. And at 7.5 minutes... Let's look at you and say I'm supposed to push when my second tank pops. So 6.5 minutes, the first tank pops, you start pushing across the field and researching siege mode. And then 7.5 minutes right now, the second tank pops. And the army sizes at this point were 2 tanks of Viking and 8 Marines against 3 Reapers and 5 Marines. So that's the whole point of the push, is to push when he has only 5 Marines, and you can just utterly dominate him with the early tanks. Like I said, I wasn't taking the game seriously. I didn't push at this point, so I had no chance of winning at that point. And then by the time I actually did push, he had a bigger army than me. No, wait. He didn't. He had a smaller army than me, but he had stim. You can't wait until stim is out, or you're just completely doomed. So he walks in with stim and combat shields. No spreading involved, but he came when I was on siege, so I only get 2 volleys with these tanks before they're all dead. Maybe 3 volleys? Yeah. 3 volleys, and then the game is over at the end. Anyway, I just wanted to look at what build he did, because he did kick my ass. And it was just a standard Reaper expand into 3 racks, and then he got a factory and a second engineering bay, even though he doesn't have an armory. I think that's a little bit stupid because he can't use it until he gets the armory, so it should have been armory and then engineering bay. But had a ton of money in the bank. He didn't even play very well. I got the impression from the game, because I was kind of, you know, one-basing, that he had outplayed me, but it looks to me like I just didn't. I sucked so much that he could have won with anything at that point. So I thought he had a bigger army. I was like, oh, a fast expand that gets a bigger army by 10 minutes. But no, it didn't get a bigger army. But he did have 48 workers at 11 minutes. That's pretty cool. So it was just a standard fast expand. I always thought that you had to have 4 racks with a fast expand to spend all that money. And you actually, it looks like you do, because he didn't spend all his money. So there you go. Good old-fashioned 3 racks. It is keeping his money low without keeping guys all queued up everywhere, so it does look like 3 racks is all he could support while still making workers constantly. And then he just cut workers for a little while here, and that's why his money was high later. Alright. Alright, just wanted to look at it, man. Calm down.